Hello and welcome back to Chance Myanmar. This is Unit 4 and today we are going to look at opening a presentation. Are you ready? By the end of this lesson, you will have a clear structure to follow when opening a presentation. I'm also going to give you lots of useful phrases and vocabulary that you will need to use. Presentations are scary for everyone. The most important thing is preparation. So for your introduction, I want to give you an outline that you can use to prepare. Let's take a look at these. The first thing you need to do is welcome your audience. You then need to capture their attention. You need to identify the goal or the presentation topic. You need to outline your presentation. And then you need to provide your question and answer policy. We're going to break these down. Let's look at each one. It's nice and polite to introduce yourself. Your audience need to know who you are and what you do. For example, if you're an expert, they need to know why you're giving this presentation. So let's have a look at some useful phrases you can use to introduce yourself. The first one, welcome to. You need to put the company or the event. My name is your name, and I am the title. This will be your position. The next one, so another way that you can introduce yourself is to say, thank you for coming today. I'm looking forward to talking with you about, and then the topic. Finally, you could say, on behalf of company, I'd like to welcome you. For those who don't know me, my name is and I'm title. Once you've introduced yourself, you then need to capture attention. Let's take a look at some phrases you can use to help you do that. Now, did you know that? Think about my intonation, listen carefully. At this part, you are going to insert an interesting fact or shocking statement. Next, have you ever heard that? You're going to do the same thing again. You're going to insert an interesting fact or shocking statement. You want people to focus on you. You want their full attention. Let's take a look at another example. So, before I start, I'd like to share a quick story about, and then you're going to tell your story. Next, I remember, again, you're going to tell your story, experience, or a memory that you have. Finally, you could say, when I started preparing for this talk, I was reminded of, and then you're going to tell your story, you're going to share a quote, or talk about some other memorable experience. A good presentation is well structured, and you will need to give the structure in the introduction. So let's take a look at some phrases you can use to do that. This morning, I'd like to present our new, and then you're going to say a product or a service. Today, I'd like to discuss, and then you're going to say what the topic is. My goal today is to help you understand. Can you complete this sentence? I'd like to take the opportunity to talk about. As you know, this morning I'll be discussing. I will present my findings on. I want you to think about how you could complete these sentences. At this part, when you're outlining, you need to think about this. Tell me what you're going to tell me. Then tell me what you told me. You need to be clear when you are giving structure to your presentation. So I want you to think about some linking devices that you can use. Let's take a look at some of the language. So, first, I'm going to present, then I'll share with you, finally, I'll ask you to notice first, then, finally. This is giving nice structure. You're being clear about what you are going to cover in your presentation. You could also say, the next thing I'll share with you is. In the next section, I'll show you how to My talk this morning is divided into 3 sections. Think about these linking devices. I want you to practice using them. It's good practice to include your question and answer policy in your introduction. So let's take a look at some phrases you can use. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to interrupt me. I am happy to answer questions as we go along. Feel free to ask questions. However, I do ask that you wait until the end of the presentation. There will be plenty of time for questions at the end. I would be happy to answer any questions you may have now. These set out clearly when the audience can start to ask questions. They can ask them as you go through the presentation, or you may want to wait till the end. Let's think about grabbing attention. So you will need to do this in your introduction. I would like you to find some famous speeches by Steve Jobs and Oprah Winfrey. You will notice that in some speeches, Steve Jobs starts with a personal story, and Oprah, she will often use quotes and nice poems. So how do you grab attention? Well, you can use a personal story or experience. People are going to listen to this. They want to know more. You can use a nice motivational quote. You could use a joke, but be careful. You do not want to offend anyone. A bold statement. So Steve Jobs said, "Stay hungry, stay foolish," and everybody remembered that. Ask rhetorical questions. Rhetorical questions make people think. This is good. This means they're participating. Their focus is on you. And finally, actual participation. Ask a question. Get people to raise their hands. When they're doing that, that means you have grabbed their attention. Great work today. We finished another lesson. Make sure you come back to the next lesson, which is going to be about organizing your presentations. And do not forget your homework. Steve Jobs and Oprah Winfrey. I would like you to find some of their speeches, listen carefully and make some notes. See you next time.